we're here. We're talking. This is the second live we do. So, and last time we talked about obviously AI, and we talked a little bit about the importance of the jobs updates in the world of AI, and I think this is an important topic to talk about, especially in our world. We're technologists. We work in technology, but then how does that impact our world, but also the world in general? So this is probably where we'll focus the bulk of the discussion today. So, what are you thinking?
I think it's really interesting. It's really motivating. We have once in a lifetime transformation, uh, honestly, a new industrial revolution that will allow many people um, to capitalize on that. It will be reward the most agile, the most flexible, the most resilient among us. I think the only thing that's worrying is someone has really to look after the right skills and develop the right acumen to capitalize on this moment. The world is changing. We cannot resist that. The ones who will be embracing that are the winners. And we'll see, I think, different reports, different feedbacks kept betting on the near future, talking about 3 5 years from now. The world is changing so fast, and we have to be ready. It's impacting every single roles, every single vertical as we speak.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, I do believe that this new technology, the same as any technology that happened in the past decades, hundreds of years, is basically amplifying what really is important. So it shows what's important to us as humans, and it doubles down on that, basically. You did share something with me that probably we can put up on the screen, which is some kind of a digest from the World Economic Forum that
Mhm.
happened this year, where they talked basically about the future of workforce, and it's basically this graph here. Maybe can give us some color on it.
Oh yeah, thank you. Look, let me start by saying I recently found on Reddit a letter that was sent by the CEO of Fiverr, one of the freelance platforms there, that talks to his team about the how AI is impacting the future, and he summarized it really beautifully. It says, it does not matter if you are a programmer or any role, AI is coming, or even including his role as CEO, AI is coming for you. I mean, we must understand what it was considered easy tasks will no longer exist, all right? What it was considered impossible task will be the new hard, and that's what also World Economic Forum, the WEF here, is talking about. Long story short, although all those jobs, all those roles that you see at this column, these are routine, rules based jobs, and everything from admin to data entry to cashier work, back office processing and finance, even basic legal support and content writing can be fully automated in the next 2 to 3 years. If someone's day to day now is driven by checklists, by templates, or repetitive, let's say, research, AI, especially AI agents, will do it faster, better, and at cheaper and at scale. So those roles are disappearing every month, and companies are resizing their teams in those roles.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, in part that's true. Like we're seeing areas where the work is repetitive, areas where the work is based knowledge workers in a way, in a sense, if you want to put it this way, are getting either replaced, maybe, but I would
Mhm.
also say they're getting a boost in productivity. Like if you are a legal worker who's just generating contract documents, well, you might generate more documents faster,
Mhm.
or maybe you get replaced by some kind of a non-human agent that would do the work for you, or instead of you. Um, but
Absolutely. Look,
uh,
we we I work for Microsoft currently as full-time employee. We are going uh, operation by operation, department by department, process by process, and to see where we can do better with AI.
Right.
So that's I work with the UK government, some local authorities today. When you pick up the phone and you talk to um, a city council, I don't want to mention the name, you have AI,
Right.
different flavors, answering you and guiding you and helping you. So the, the, the human factor there will be focusing on what matters, which is the human, rather than just taking calls and support. I'm saying it's happening. So long story short, if it's repetitive and for its worth low value, um, it would be automated, um, partially or fully.
Yeah. So that's one side of the coin. The other side is that the other type of work that is much more needed, and I think this is where we operate, is actually engineers or the type of humans who can talk to machine clearly and precisely, in a very concise way, in a logical way. And I think that to me is by definition an engineer who can solve a problem by using a technology, in this case, talking to a machine. Historically, or I would say it's weird to say historically, but to this day, when we talk to machine, we use a certain type of languages, programming
Mhm.
language, whatever type of
Yes.
languages or dialects or a paradigm of those languages, right? Procedural, functional, what have you. But now with LLM, you can actually talk
Mhm.
natural languages. It's still the principle is the same. You still have to think clearly, logically, and precisely and concisely talk to the machine. And that's the one area where we would see some kind of a shift in our world in technology. Like instead of using programming languages, you will end up using a mix of natural languages plus
Uh-huh.
programming languages, but in the
Yes.
end, you're talking to a machine, right?
Yes. Yes. And for a matter of fact, engineers will be even more it will be even more honorary or more important title because we are talking about a shift that will bring or open 9 million jobs by 2030. This is according again to the World Economic Forum. 9 million jobs between engineering and other roles, supporting engineering roles in this matter, just artificial intelligence about automating about the roles that design, the roles that interpret, govern AI will be exploding. And this is where everyone or most of us will have to take a bet. Um, as you mentioned, Quentin, think about machine learning engineers. Think about data scientists, NLP specialists who are building those models.
Right.
These are these are the careers that are commanding, I'm pretty sure, top salaries and shaping the next wave of innovation. But that, as you know, you are CEO of bright company there, will need a lot of skills, need a lot of, and skills not just technical, but also soft skills. Um, I'm not sure from your point how you are preparing or how your team is getting prepared for this from career standpoint.
That's actually a good point. So, in a way, we're redefining what it means to have a technical expertise, right? So, technical expertise meant certain things
Mhm.
in a world before 2022, before 2020. Now it means a little bit more than that. So you need to have the fundamental understanding of how things work. That still remains. I think it's very
Oh yeah.
important for engineers to understand the story behind the transistor and how it led to neural networks and how it led to LLMs and how it led to the
Yes.
different avenues of intelligent algorithms, symbolic AI and non-symbolic AI. All of those are very important to understand. So I think we're doubling down on first principles. That's for sure.
Yeah.
The other thing that's very important is understanding why a certain algorithm or a certain machine made the decision. It's not how to make the decision, but why that decision was made. So in a way, um, like having that empathy of understanding what the humans want, translating that into a good language that the machine would understand. Now, assuming that we're using LLMs for this, is very important. And then seeing what the outcome the machine would give you is very important to why did it make that decision? Did I maybe have a wrong input? Is there an output that I missed? If I'm building some kind of a land graph, like what's the missing orchestration, or what's the how can we navigate that properly? So I think it's more of a redefinition of a technical expertise, having a good eye on what humans want or what is valuable for humans in
Yes.
a particular task, and being able to convey thoughts clearly, concisely, and precisely. That's still the case. Like as writing elegant code back in the day, we're still
Mm.
doubling down on that.
Huh.
And understanding first principles, we're still doubling down on that. But actually, it's amplifying, if I have to say,
Yes.
the connection with the human. And maybe this is also a good segue to say that the even though it's faster, you can write code faster, you can write solutions faster. They can probably be not the most influential if they don't solve the human needs. So in a beautiful way. So the difference, if you
Yes.
think about it, you need to have an elegant, aesthetically elegant solution from a user experience, not an interface, but just the whole experience should be elegant and it should be precise.
Yeah, and I love it. I mean, like you putting the right names of roles for everyone on the podcast, and that's really great. I just want to add on that the human nature thing. One of the one of the most critical skills today, and by far it will be in huge demand in 3, 5 years from now, is the human centric strength. Let's talk about the ones who have creative problem solving skills, talking about social influence, talking about a lifelong curiosity. Those skills around or that are human centered will be even more amplified. Add to that adaptive mindsets. We're talking again resilience. Everything is changing. No one is secure as long as they have fixed mindset. If you have the right resilience, flexibility, and the right drive to continuously learn new tools every day, even I swear, I've been account executive for Microsoft for the last, I don't know, 10 years. The last year or the last 14 months, I've learned more than the previous 5 years combined in terms of new tools. Everything is changing, right? I have agents helping me write emails, to not say writing my emails.
Right.
I have, I feel much more empowered. And that's not just me. It's not like me now overshowing or anything. That's the norm now. People are being assisted by AI. They're trying to reach more with AI, and you cannot do that without resilience, flexibility, agility, the drive to learn new tools. And what you have mentioned is really important: technical fluency, AI, big data literacy, cloud, LLM, ops, all of these are really, really important. And those of us will have career there. Probably that will be the new gold now, and definitely in the very near future.
Yeah, I believe that truly. This is actually in part what we're doing here in Syntaxia. So we're seeing like the kind of problems we're solving is implementing semantic layers on top of various data sources. Like, okay, so we are using some intelligence to help us convert from legacy systems that are used to, I believe, like one of our clients had most of their data in different transactional databases or analytical databases in SQL Server or in transaction time series databases and so on and what have you. And they have all the code written in procedural language, which is very hard to understand the intent of what that code does, of what that business logic does. So it's not AI friendly in a way, right? So AI cannot understand intent from just transactional data purely. It may give you some basic understanding, but it's not deterministic. What we found is interesting is to, like, how can we create and implement a semantic layer? Should we use a knowledge graph in this case? Should we use a vector DB in this case? And this is the kind of a piping and infrastructure development that is important to enable some of the better experiences using AI. So definitely it's gold. It's like that old age famous saying that this is the gold rush, but then the most influential folks are actually the ones who build jeans and shovels, right? So this is where
Yes.
we are. We're building the jeans and
Shovels.
we enable
Love
for
it.
this, right? So, but yeah, so this is in reaction to that graph from the World Economic Forum that for sure we're seeing a decline in certain, or they forecasting a decline in certain skilled workers, but
Yeah.
there will be a much more higher appetite for other type of workers and humans who are specifically the ones who operate on data, operate on these algorithms. They understand how they can combine these different types of intelligence. Like intelligence are in general, you have like intelligence in symbolic AI, like what we're seeing with
Uh-huh.
LLMs and so on. But there's also other intelligent algorithms that exist and that we probably see much more applications for them. Think of the optimization or linear programming. Think of machine learning or any inference algorithms as well are very important to combine. And there, by combining these different intelligent algorithms, you can have a much better experience for the humans. So, needless to say, I think is we will see success, and we are seeing it, not in the specialist or not on the
Yes.
generalist, but basically the ones who can integrate. The integrators
Yes.
are the ones who will see their future here, and I think this is the present right now, anyway.
It
Right?
is. It is. It is, and it's big. Um, we will hear about more and more um, companies who are shifting their businesses, implementing those AI. Some of them are shy, some of them are vocal about it, but we are getting there.
Yeah.
You work in IT. As a CEO, you're dealing with probably hundreds of companies. Myself, handling the government side, I'm seeing it, I'm hearing their concerns and what they want to do and they want to achieve. AI is there, and AI will continue to be will be there for the foreseeable future, reshaping careers. Would you um, would you agree, Quentin, that we are 2025 probably is a fork in the road? What I'm trying to say here is for those of us who are listening, especially if they are doubling down on routine tasks, if they are doubling down on easy jobs, easy tasks, they are risking obsolescence. The ones who are investing in AI fluency at, from any position, I'm not talking only about technical, talking about business, I'm talking about business decision makers, I'm talking about any type of role. Strategic thinking is really also a great skill there. And the soft skills the machines cannot replicate will thrive and will have a bigger say in the near future in their organization or their own businesses. What do you think there, Quentin?
Look, so the this technology is just a very strong amplifier. It can amplify mediocrity. It can amplify excellence. So yeah, you pick your poison basically. So if you're doing some kind of a task or some kind of a work that is not entirely useful or it's kind of a mediocre, the AI will just amplify that, and then you will just go out of existence basically. So that's what we're seeing, I think, right? And in a way, the message that we're trying to achieve, even internally in our with our team, with my colleagues here, is that we want to make sure that understand first principles,
Uh-huh.
be much more authentic to the or closer to the human element to it. Don't be that engineer who's pessimistic. Like most of the time, engineers who are very experienced are pessimistic. Yeah, you cannot do that. That's the
Absolutely.
answer you get, right? Can we do this? No,
No.
no. They're probably like, no, wait, we can do that, and then they figure out a way. And don't be also
Engineers.
that optimist. Like usually juniors are very optimist. Can we do this? Of course we can. And then they will just drown on complexities. So
Yes.
you want to find the balance, get curious, get optimistic, but then have the fundamentals to know how to write code or how to talk to the machine properly to implement whatever is needed there. But in a sense, being more human is what's important. I think I found something interesting. It's like over the week, we were trying to think through what we can share here, and there was some kind of an interesting, funny thing. I'll put it here on the screen. So they were asking folks on the street, like Gen Alpha, these are the young kids, right?
Okay.
What do you want to be in the future? Like, what's your future look like? What do you want to do when you become older? And most of them, as you can see here, it's funny. Like most of them, they want to be influencer, YouTuber, TikToker, instead of the usual astronauts and pilot and scientists that we used to do back in the day, right?
Yes.
And they're telling us something. Basically, the jobs of tomorrow won't be jobs behind the desk, won't be jobs doing technical skills, but they will be more about creativity. They will be more about storytelling. They will be more about human connection.
Yes.
There's a message there.
Yes, there is. There is, and I was fortunate to have a brief discussion or overheard a discussion with the CEO of LinkedIn. 9 to 5 jobs are gone or will be gone, right? And the desk jobs also will be gone in the near future. Not all of them, but it will not have the same weight they have today. Um, it will be more, the jobs of tomorrow will be more centered around the humans. The human factor will be amplified. Um, um, everything, again, if you go back, any desk job that can be automated, even if the technology today does not allow us, but in 5 years it will be.
Right.
We cannot change that. But the human factor will be amplified. So that's why again we go back to the point of developing the right skills. We have to commit today to those upskilling paths and repositioning ourselves for a human related or human centric and definitely AI assisted economy in the near future. It's happening again. It's hitting us. Some of us will be moved to a new role. Some of us they have their own roles slightly changing, but it will open a lot of opportunities. And again, I do believe it will be again will have a window for generational wealth transfer. Um, think of you mentioned the right when there is a gold rush, the ones who get rich are the ones who sell shovels, and that's what's happening. AI will be creating lots of economic opportunities for anyone. The estimation we are talking about 19 million. This is WEF estimation for 2030, and I think they are just lowballing that it will be much more.
Yeah, I agree with that in a sense that AI doesn't really remove work. It just transforms and modifies what is valuable to humans.
Yes.
So if you were doing some kind of a work that right now in the age of AI would be more valuable if you do it differently, that's what we will see. So it's more of a transformation of what is more valuable for us. And this is there's a question here on the chat from guys who said, "Hey guys, how do you see our jobs changing in the era of MCP, agent to agent, and AI agents?" And the answer is probably twofold. So everything you mentioned there, guys, are basically protocols of communication. So we are in this era of we have a new technology that we want this new technology to communicate with different pieces of technology. So for it, we need to have a protocol of communication.
Mhm.
Like again, back to fundamentals. We need to have a way that is
Yes.
precise of how to communicate. Like if I ask you this question, I need to expect this answer. And Anthropic, back in November last year,
Yes. Yeah.
they released this model context protocol, which is a protocol of communication between some agents, which are probabilistic algorithms, with deterministic APIs. That's the protocol of communication. Google last 2 months ago, actually earlier this year, they announced A2A, agent to agent protocol, which is again a protocol of communication. There is no one consensus of what is actually the right protocol. These are just protocol of communications. But what they will enable is just probabilistic algorithms based on LLMs and deterministic algorithms based on
Mhm.
digital business logic and other logic will communicate together using these protocols. So we're talking about the infrastructure layer here. How they will transform our life as humans, I think, our jobs. Um, it's important to understand how to use those protocols in writing your code, maybe, or talking to the machine to write that for you. That's one way to do it.
Mhm.
But I think what we will see is much more interconnected systems, even organizationally. Like think of before when you had QuickBooks for your accounting and Salesforce for your go-to-market and
Yes.
I don't know, deal for your HR, and these different systems of record are completely separate. And the human was connecting that. So you have processes in your organization. A
Yes.
CFO talk with the chief operating officer, with the different teams, that probably will be removed or simplified or amplified by AIs that can talk with those systems of record, have your business logic custom tailored for you so that the human can make the right decision, right?
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely. I hope Kai said his answer really.
Yeah. So I think we allocated 30 minutes for this. I don't know if you want
Yes.
to go further or we should cut it here, but I think to me, this has been interesting to talk about. Maybe we talked about examples of how the work is changing, where it's going to go, double down on fundamentals, really understand what you're doing. Don't just do a course of Python programming languages
Mhm.
and become an engineer. You just really want to understand how to talk to the machine precisely. What are the protocols of communications? And just be curious. Remain like double down on curiosity, basically.
Yeah. Because the FLA, so flexibility, I forgot the so resilience, flexibility, and agility.
Yeah.
Uh, Again, I mean, I'm not technical. I'm technical. I mean, like, I'm not in a technical position since I graduated, but
But you
it's
do
even
have
for
a degree. You are an engineer.
yeah, I'm using engineering mindset in my role. I'm trying always to do things in the simplest and easiest way possible, and that's paying me really good, really well. But again, for EI, even for those roles who are in business development, in the relation, again, the former is be resilient, be flexible, and be agile because um, the only way to surf to navigate this change, it's really to learn and upscale and stay centric and try to automate or try to leverage AI for the easy day-to-day stuff. And for you, you have space to get creative and to achieve more and to have better outreach with your customers, to have a better reporting with your organization, to have better connections within your organization or outside the organization, and so on. So there is a lot of changes that are happening, and again, resilience, agility, and flexibility is the name of the game for technical business, any type of roles as we speak.
I love it. I love it. Maybe I'll take a few seconds to answer Kai's follow-up and then we can end it. So Kai said, hey, from a developer point of view. Okay, so you're asking the question from a developer point of view. Uh, I would say as an engineer, just again, as Farouk mentioned, just remain curious. Look at um, what the industry is moving toward, but be curious about why they're doing it, how they're doing it. So understand MCP, how it works, and understand the different protocol of communication between agents. understand the different type of LLMs and how they are being used in the industry. So, like for instance, like real life examples that we're doing right now is migrating from legacy systems to semantic layers on the data cloud. And for that, we could have humans rewrite the code, but we could also rely on LLM based to help us migrate from procedural language to a declarative language that's more closer to the knowledge graph in a way. And for that, we're using LLMs. Like LLMs help us do that. There are different types of LLMs, and they are improving in a very fast pace. Like if you look 2.5 years ago when we started, even like with GPT 3.5
Yeah.
compared to right now what we have with O3 on OpenAI alone, we're not talking about like what DeepSeek is doing, what Alibaba is doing, or Anthropic is doing. Like those are very impressive
Yes.
LLMs, but they're uh, things are changing even in the way you interact with them, right? So as an engineer, if you're interacting with them, make sure that you, one way I think is very interesting that Anthropic introduced is you have your own playbooks of prompts. You have them in XML so you can repeat them. OpenAI went through that and allowed you to use those playbooks to distill your engine and your agent, or if you're writing that agent based on an LLM, you can have it based on a distilled version of the LLM, or if you want to do fine tuning based on your data set. All of those are techniques that allow you to make the probabilistic agent much more deterministic, but still, you still have the responsibility to guarantee that the response is correct, especially in a field or a domain that requires that correctness, right? So not in a creative work, think of in a medical space, think in the engineering machinery space, you want those responses to be as accurate as possible. So understanding the protocols of communications, understanding the heart of these systems is a good starting point.
Love it. Thank you. Love it.
All right. Well, there you have it, folks. This was a quick 30 minutes with Farouk. Thank you, sir. And let's keep doing these, and maybe we can talk about something interesting next week as well.
Maybe someone puts a comment anywhere in any platform, or they want to, if they have any question, or we can develop on that in the next podcast, hopefully.
That's a good point.
Quentin.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, please ask questions. That would help us a lot. Thank you.
Quentin, thank you again for having me. It was lovely to see you again and to hear from you. Very insightful as usual.
Thank you, my friend. All right. Bye.
Have a great day. Bye.